more ice, man.
Too much alcohol in there, apparently. All right, here's the basement tapes.
Basement tapes.
And we're calling this what? Reel to reel? Is that cool?
Reel to reel.
This is a conversation about the basement tapes.
Yeah.
And the local music scene, I guess.
Yeah, all of it. I think it was probably kicked off. I've been trying to figure out where that dream came from. And I think it was probably kicked off because it seems like it was around State Fair time when certain bands were playing certain gigs at certain times, certain number of times. And, you know, there was a lot of animosity, I think uncalled for, you know, I mean, so I think that's where the dream kind of sparked from, because I started looking at who all was playing, and not just the bands, but looking at the players. And I started looking back at the years and thinking about, man, you know, this guy's in this band now, and they're playing here and whatnot. So then I started thinking about the influences that I had and the people and all these great musicians that we have in Springfield, which we do, right? I had this dream that I got all of the best musicians that I could think of in Springfield, and we made this, and Kortney and I, for some reason, made this CD with all of these musicians and just different cover songs and our own versions of them and our own take on them, and we produced this CD that was awesome. So I woke up, and we never worked together, just kind of hung out at a couple open mics, and so I woke up and at some ungodly time in the morning and like sent you a message, and I had this dream. It was fresh then, you know. I'd like to look back at that message and see what it was.
I still got it somewhere.
Do you?
You know, on the Facebook message. If my memory serves me correctly, I think that you had mentioned when you wanted to put this CD together and stuff that we were talking about bringing in the bands that were actually performing some of these songs and like making, I don't want to necessarily say like a greatest hits, but like, you know, taking some of the numbers that they had done and which they had kind of done it in their own way, and then you kind of putting it out there like that.
Okay.
So when you sending me that Facebook message immediately, you know, when you talking about the production side and actually doing the recording and stuff, I recall talking to you and you wanting to put this project together, kind of getting area musicians to come in and actually perform songs that hadn't necessarily, I'm not saying they necessarily work together, but just, you know, just getting some peeps in there and just trying to do some different songs and actually filming as soon as they actually walked in, and then hopefully getting something tangible and marketable and something good out of it, right? To see where you could go with that. And then, you know, when I got that vibe from you, and you had talked about it for a long time, you know, when we were playing in that band, you know, and I always thought that was a cool idea. But when, you know, Scott had come to me immediately, I was like, the two of you need to talk.
I've been doing the video thing for a long time with every band I've been in.
Yeah, and
setting
that
up a camera, letting it run, that's been done since the dawn of time. And then I just kind of,
and the Facebook page with the video thing.
Sure. I kept reworking it, and finding new ways to make it sound better, because that's always every video I see on Facebook or YouTube or whatever, it's all staticky and shit, done with a cell phone or whatever. And I always wanted to kind of create something that's a little more marketable live, and develop my own techniques that weren't original, but I thought they were original. I mean, at least in my mind they were. And I had kind of this love for doing videos, and I had thought about doing, you know, whether it was the Live at Daryl's House episodes that turned me on to it, or even way before that with, you know, some of the other live in the studio shows. But I thought it'd really be cool to do that type of video with local musicians. I had an idea even way before that, and I'd approached Russ Friedewald in Springfield, who's you know, kind of a photographer that used to take a lot of pictures of the Dirty Ernies back in the day. I had approached him about actually following a band and doing a behind the scenes thing, following a local cover band or original or whatever. I said, this is, it'd be a huge deal.
Yeah.
And do kind of a behind the music type thing of something locally. And it just kind of blossomed from there. So I told Kortney, I had this idea for this video thing, but I can't do the audio. There's no way, and I want to do it professionally. And it just so happened that at the same time, you're approaching him with the audio side of things, and the conduit over here is like, psh, let's put you guys together. And then of course we have a first meeting, and all these ideas are being thrown out, and it's kind of magical, really. I mean, when you think about it, we had tons of ideas.
It was
a lot of conversation.
What was that place over there by Target that you had that open mic?
Albatross.
Yeah, I know that we drunk talked late one night. That was like the only time we've ever had a conversation. We've never had a conversation.
No, up until that point.
And
cool that, he brought us together.
Yeah, it was very cool. Because I got to tell you, that dream that I had, yeah, that's right. It's all Kortney.
All these.
Thank you. Yeah. When I woke, part of the reason that I sent you that message was because when I woke up, it was one of those, you guys have had these dreams before, maybe. I thought it happened.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I thought it was like, I was so happy when I woke up. I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. And it was, hit, and we were selling and all this stuff. And I woke up and I was like, oh.
Yeah,
it was so real, man.
I got up, was like Kortney, and then
I was like, oh, Facebook, I can't. My contacts.
I had one of those last night, but Halle Berry was in it, not Kortney.
Oh.
We honed it down to the idea of bringing in, not having a house band, first of all.
Yeah, because we talked about that.
We did. We even talked about us playing in said house band, and decided that's not going to, we had too many people to bring in and not enough time to do it.
Yeah.
So the whole idea about, putting together a spreadsheet and listing musicians by instrumentation or by vocals or however, so that we'd have something to look at.
I mean, we can be honest. I mean, it's our baby.
Right.
I mean, we are, we don't want garbage players. It's pressure when they come in here. I mean, I don't want to insult anybody at all. I mean, it would be hard for me to come in here and do it. But it's a limited time. They come in here. We want them to be able to get under the pressure with all of the parameters that we talk about and be able to do it and in a certain amount of time. I mean, it's ask anybody that's done it. It's not easy.
No. And let's be honest, there's a certain individuals that don't fit the criteria, like you're saying. Our opinion, it's our opinion, the three of us, whether it's musically or personality wise, or how they fit into the scene or whatever.
Yeah.
We do want to have as many players involved in this, I think, as we can possibly get as time allows.
Yeah, because there's so many. I mean,
yeah, and we haven't even touched. There's no order. No. That's the other thing. It's not like we're having the best of the best off the top.
Yeah,
you agree. We're mixing it all in. I mean, this next episode, we're getting ready to go into episode 3, and without mentioning any names because it's top secret, quite possibly, if not the best, some of the best players in the area are going to be in this next episode. That's going to blow everybody's mind. Yeah. You think you've seen the best? Yeah. Wait till you see this next group, and we've got the next group.
Right.
And it's not like we're coming across as first string, second string, third string. It's not anything like that. It's like
absolutely not
an idea. What you said. You got the spreadsheet with all the singers, the guitar players, the keyboard players, bass players, drummers, and we've still got some ideas of some other musicians out there that we haven't come across. I mean, we've heard from other people. We've actually gone out and met some musicians that we really weren't that familiar with, and it's really open. But I mean, it's still strictly invite.
Yeah, right. Which we're gonna keep it that way. I mean, You don't have to come do it if you don't like it. That's okay too. But
Sure.
How many times did we meet? You know, there's some tough guidelines to this.
Absolutely, yeah. And coming up with the songs. That's the other
The
thing.
songs.
We want to bring out the absolute best of these guys, and what we're trying to do is find material that is a bit of a departure, especially for the lead singer that we invite, and for the players. And then we want one that's kind of in their wheelhouse they feel a little more comfortable with, where they can really feel good about excelling on, and maybe mold into their own kind of version of the song in the limited amount of time that we allow.
I've also had people ask me, out in public, do you choose the songs first or do you choose the band? And I think we've done it both ways.
Yeah.
I mean, just with number one.
Yeah.
And also with 2 as well.
Well, we kind of had an idea of at least one of the songs the first episode. Actually, was it both?
We sat right here
I think we talked about
third meeting.
Yeah, I think we talked about who we wanted.
Yeah.
I think we talked about who was going to be in the band. We got the band, at least the guitar player, And so as we were picking the songs, we were like, what can we throw at Howard? Or I was, at least, because, I got to have him on this project if he'll come. But I don't want to throw Eric Johnson to him, his fun wheelhouse stuff. Let's see what we can get, and
shake him up.
Yeah, and Country Boy wasn't my idea; that was your idea.
Yeah,
you threw that out there. I'm like,
and it almost seemed like it was right on the tip of his tongue, because if I remember, he was like leaning forward, and he was like, "Look, here it is." And when you said Country Boy, I was just like, I didn't know what it was. I had no clue. And you guys were talking about Vince Gill and Albert Lee.
Well, Albert Lee, and I didn't even realize. I mean, I knew who Albert Lee was, but I didn't realize, for some reason, when you said Country Boy, I immediately connected with Ricky Skaggs, who's also awesome.
Did Vince Gill, the video we watched?
Yeah, he was on. No, he was on there was a live.
Yeah. I didn't suggest it in order to stump anybody, but the legend of Howie, I thought, in my mind, I knew that was going to be a complete departure for him, and I thought, I know he can do this. It really shows, I think it really worked. I think it shows people, man, how diverse a player this guy is, and how great a player he is, and that's what the whole idea of the whole thing is. We want to do that for every single artist that comes on. Open the eyes of the community. They already know they're great players, or at least they've heard the legend of the player, but let's just show how awesome they
people
are.
saw Howard do that.